Welcome back to the Daily's Double Shot. I'm Stuart Marlantis.
And I'm Natalie Huynh.
First, we look at a record store on the Ave and the comeback of vinyl.
Then we check out Claws Out, a dance competition held by UW's Hip Hop Student Association.
We look at what the Pen and Paper Gaming Association is all about.
Rainy Dog Radio tells us how they're adapting to being in Condon Hall.
After that, an arborist from the UW Arboretum talks about his job.
The Husky football team works on replacing recently graduated players.
And last, we head down to UW Fisheries, where we check out a massive collection of fish on campus.
All coming up
on today's Double Shot.
Ooh, what is that? Chinese.
Yeah.
I'll see you there. Okay.
Oh, these headphones sound terrible.
Well, why don't you listen to something that sounds better?
I didn't know there was anything better I could listen to.
Well, did you know that vinyl's making a comeback?
Really?
Yeah, really. It has better quality, too. Let's check it out.
Music is dynamic and has undergone rapid changes in both style and purpose due to technological advances. The transition from vinyl to digital media allows listeners to enjoy music with ease and portability. But there are those who disapprove of newer digital forms, claiming music has lost something essential in the transition. Mossy Bottom Records, located within earshot of the Ave, is proof that vinyl records are still a viable way to listen to music. Nicholas Gorfkel is the owner and self-titled musical historian.
These days people listen to music more on headphones and in cars, and so the formats that, like MP3s and stuff, they're made to sound good at an very up close range, whereas like records were made to be able to dance floor in a house, on the radio, places where people like really want to rock out and possibly dance.
The collection of records is diverse, containing music from every genre imaginable, even some from around the world. Most of this music never made the transition to digital. Without vinyl, these artists and their music would be lost.
People are playing music, it's alive. It's not just the Billboard charts and the radio.
For those uninterested in the history of music, vinyl has something else to offer.
It's great if you're hanging out drinking beers and stuff to have a record player on and to be able to really feel the music like the band is actually there, like Jimi Hendrix is actually there. Where the CDs, it's just like, it sounds like he's actually there till you turn it past a 3.
Technically speaking, the vibrations of the needle and cartridge on a turntable work with the preamplifier to produce something called even-ordered harmonic distortion, which is perceived by the human ear to sound warm and rich. This phenomenon is lost with the CD or MP3 player.
If you go to a thrift store and just buy some old turntable and some old speakers, don't even test them. Even if it has an old beat-up needle on it. Put on a scratched-up Zeppelin record that's like covered in wear, put it in a room, with hardwood floors like in your house or whatever. Turn that on and you're gonna get this sound quality that's just gonna blow you away.
The store has everything someone needs to start enjoying records. Pick out a few that look interesting, buy a turntable and speakers, and you're on your way.
It's like a piece of art, and if I was buying a Picasso, I wouldn't want a pocket-sized little travel Picasso. I'd want something that I could really enjoy in my home.
So if you love music and want to elevate your listening experience, give vinyl a try.
I think I might just go find a record player to put in my dorm room.
You can even play dance music.
I'm not that much of a dancer.
Well, I know some kids who are. In fact, they competed in Claws Out.
What's Claws Out?
Stuart, you helped me edit it. Let's check it out. Last week, we covered Claws Out, an urban dance event held by the Hip Hop Student Association at the UW. The event brings in many aspects of hip-hop dance, showcasing 3-on-3 b-boy battles, 1-on-1 all-styles, and a final exhibition battle. We talked to Michael Hung, also known as Mikeski, the founder of the HHSA, to learn more about Claws Out and HHSA's involvement in student life.
The way that HHSA connects the students and the culture, I believe, is first and foremost it gives them a channel as to where they can explore these things. A lot of students are here, but they're studying and they don't really know how to reach out to the community. And there is a flourishing hip-hop community here, beyond just dance.
Through holding events like Claws Out, students interested are able to connect to the growing hip-hop scene. Emilio Garza, a junior at the UW and the current HHSA president, describes how HHSA is a resource for student hip-hop dancers.
We're doing it so that we can put on these up-and-coming people who really before might not have had a venue to, display their talents in. Really, reaching out to the hip-hop community, making connections with other musicians, other dancers, artists, and things like that.
Hip-hop is more than just a dance style for many involved, including Alejandro Luna Giuliano, a b-boy of 6 years. Alejandro explains the impact dance has had on his life.
Oh man, it's saved my life, I think. It's definitely the most productive outlet I've had throughout my entire life. I like to dance every day. I practice pretty much 5 days a week, sometimes more. And I just use it as a means to encourage the younger kids in our crew too.
The HHSA has built a community at the UW and gives a voice to the hip-hop culture scene in Seattle.
I just hope that, people see that hip-hop culture is not just, music and violence and just gimmicky stuff over the media waves. It's something really empowering, and it changes lives. It changed my life. It allows people to be individuals and do things that, without resources and whatnot. So hip-hop is real, and it's dope.
Check out the Hip Hop Student Association at www.facebook.com/UWHHSA to learn more and follow events.
What are you doing?
I'm so excited. Hip-hop dancers are so cool.
You know what else is cool?
What?
The Pen and Paper Gaming Association. Let's take a look.
Twice a month, people from all walks of life get together on campus to play games together with nothing but their paper, pencils, and a handful of dice. We spoke with the founder, William Hale, for an insight into this phenomenon.
PNPGA is the Pen and Paper Gaming Association. This includes card games, role-playing games, board games, puzzles, etc. It introduces people to new games that they may not have seen before, and it provides people an outlet for having a community and having a group of friends that all really just want to have fun. We have a weekly Magic game. We have 6 active role-playing games going right now. That includes Dungeons & Dragons, Dark Heresy. There's a lot of games.
The people of the PNPGA are always glad to provide introductions and lessons on playing any game that comes up.
Most of the people are really friendly about it. The games are pretty much, you can sit down, jump in, and learn from example.
Players will often get together weekly to continue their campaigns together through the weeks ahead.
The average time I'd say for a session of gaming is probably about 2 to 4 hours. That can definitely be different for marathon sessions, which might last 12 hours, they might last longer. A game could last 6 months, a year. It could last a very long time because it's how long your group's going to go and how long a particular campaign is going to last.
44 or another double.
44.
Roll a d6.
Every 2 weeks we try to have a meeting. The meetings are basically a place to catch up on what all of the other games are doing right now. It's also a place for people to actually meet each other who may have only talked online. It's not really that serious. We're about games. Gaming itself is just a way to have fun with a group of people who you share a common interest with.
If you'd like to get involved with the PNPGA, visit their forums at students.washington.edu/PNPGA.
We'll be right back
After this commercial break.
We host the Double Shot so often, we should have our own show.
Or maybe our own radio show.
Like Rainy Dog Radio?
Exactly. Up next, we check out what Rainy Dog Radio is doing in Condon Hall and what they plan for the future.
Many students at the University of Washington don't get the chance to check out Condon Hall. Sitting across from Terry and Lander, it's often too far out of the way to fit into a busy schedule. Today we explore Rainy Dog Radio, UW's internet radio station, and see how they're adapting to their new location in Condon. First we talk to Omar Shockett, Rainy Dog's general manager, Sam Mauser, its music director, and Bennett Schatz, the technical manager, about the station.
So I think that Rainy Dog for me, it's just a community of students who share a passion for music and for freeform expression. So it's a great just creative outlet for you to host your show once a week and to just meet people, like-minded people who share a love of music, and to get further involved at in that whole scene at the University of Washington.
I like just working with all the different perspectives that all the staff and DJs bring on new music, and just discovering new music with all my friends who work here at the radio station and who DJ and work on staff.
Recently we've been doing a lot of in studios, so bringing bands into the studio, and that's really fun because, you know, you bring a band in, you set up everything, set up all the mics, everything, and then you record them playing and send it out over the air live, and it's kind of like a nice high pressure environment for me, and it's a new challenge every week.
What is the most significant change that Rainy Dog has gone through in its move from the hub to Condon?
I think the biggest change is just adjusting to the visibility of everything, because in the hub we're very centrally located, and so just adjusting and letting people know that we're in Condon and we're still broadcasting and we're still doing our thing was a kind of a hard transition, but I think we managed it pretty well.
So Rainy Dog is doing well in its new location and has become the preferred choice for music on campus, but what are the plans to increase listenership?
A lot of it too comes with, you know, raising awareness and familiarity and saying, you know, okay, somebody's in the residence hall and they might not necessarily know about Rainy Dog, but there's an air break every 20 or so minutes that says you're listening to Rainy Dog Radio, or they see there's a sticker next to a computer saying, you know, you're listening to Rainy Dog Radio, and then you can apply to be a DJ. It's a good thing for the students and for the station.
But what about the music? What does Rainy Dog actually play?
Well, we have a number of specialty shows. We have a variety of hip-hop and electronic shows, which air at all times of the day. Usually they're later in the evening, those electronic or hip-hop shows. We also have more kind of college rock-based shows, indie variety, where DJs get to play basically what they want to play, but they also play a lot of new music as well. A lot of our programming is also very local-oriented, so people are always playing local tracks, up-and-coming bands from the Northwest.
It's been a good year for us.
It's been a great year.
It's been a great year.
Like us on Facebook.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.
Like us on Facebook.
Wait, 1, 2, 3.
Like us on Facebook.
Rainy Dog.
Rainy Dog Radio's great.
You know what else is great? This weather and how beautiful it's making the campus.
I know, the trees look so pretty when it's sunny out. Did you also know that UW has an arboretum full of trees?
What's an arboretum?
Let's talk to an arborist to find out.
Just minutes away from the University of Washington campus lies the UW Botanic Gardens, a collection of gardens containing over 10,000 specimens. Chris Watson, an arborist at the Botanic Gardens, tells us a little more information about the gardens and his job there.
The UW Botanic Gardens consists of the Center for Urban Horticulture and the Washington Park Arboretum. There's the Otis Hyde Herbarium and Rare Care, the Sose Garden, and the Union Bay Natural Area.
As an arborist, Chris cares for the different tree and shrub collections.
At the Arboretum, most of the tree care is done by climbing, so I get to climb trees pretty much on whenever I feel like it actually. So that's definitely the most enjoyable part of my job here.
Chris begins to get ready by setting up his lines to the tree and making sure that everything is sturdy. He then prepares himself for the climb by putting on the proper gear. Finally, he is ready to climb. Back on the ground, Chris gives us an overview of his climb.
Basically, I just set up an access line and then climbed up the access line and then switched over to my work line. And then once I switched over to the work line, I can move throughout the canopy, move up and down out to the very edge of the canopy and do whatever pruning or other type of work I might be doing.
Being so close to campus, the Botanic Gardens has so much to offer students. They are considering offering an undergraduate Learn to Climb program and are seeking interested individuals. So if interested, contact Chris Watson at cmwatson@uw.edu.
We'll be back soon after this short break
with more stories about football and fish.
I'm so excited.
That commercial got you that riled up?
No, some of the Husky football players have graduated, and now underclassmen are taking their spots.
Why is that so important?
Because it's really exciting. You just have to watch and see.
Spring practice is now over for the UW football team. With Jake Walker and Mason Foster recently drafted to the NFL, the spring campaign has been more focused on preparing underclassmen for increased roles. Senior wide receiver Jermaine Kearse reflects on changes from spring practice.
It's kind of much the same. I mean, the energy level is the same. Just different is we got a lot younger guys, all the older guys graduated and moved on.
The Huskies will have a void to fill at linebacker this season after losing Mason Foster and Victor Ayewa to graduation. Both were key players on defense. Senior linebacker Court Dennison, the only returning linebacker with major game experience, talks about how the team plans to adjust to Mason and Victor's absence.
It's hard, obviously. Mason, players like him don't come around very often, and he's going to play in the NFL for a long time. And, one man's loss, though, is just another man's opportunity. I'm just going to let these kids realize that they don't have to do so much. Go out and do your job, and everything will be fine. Our defense will be fine. So, obviously, we're going to miss Mason, but it's just another man's chance to step up.
Quarterbacks Keith Price and Nick Montana are both vying for the starting quarterback job. While Price is listed as first on the depth chart, Montana will still have an opportunity to win the job during fall camp. The two good friends don't see it as a competition, but take it as an opportunity to learn from one another.
Me and Keith are just, I'm sure you'd say the same thing, we're just out here competing and doing what we love to do. So I don't really see it as a competition.
Oh, it's been good. Me and Nick are just out here, competing. He's getting me better and I'm getting him better. And, if I miss a read, he'll come back and tell me and vice versa.
He's a great quarterback, and just playing with him and competing against him has just made me that much better.
Kearse doesn't feel that either Price or Montana outshines the other and thinks that either would be a good fit.
Just working with both of them in the offseason, I feel good about both of them. I feel like there's not going to be no down spiral with either one of them, and I just feel comfortable with both.
Price, a sophomore, and Montana, a redshirt freshman, are both underclassmen who will be in a position formerly held by Jake Walker. They realize that gaining respect from their teammates will take time, but are confident that they're on the right track.
You pretty much got to demand respect, and just getting out here and playing with the guys, and they begin to build a trust with you, and then you just build off that trust.
It takes time. You got to earn their respect, their trust. It's not going to happen overnight. It's something they got to see you working hard, just knowing that you're going to have their back and they'll have yours.
Dennison and Kearse will both be taking on leadership positions next fall as team captains and are prepared to guide the younger players.
I'm just going to take these young guys under my wing, and I realize the thing with them is experience. They're great football players. They're here for a reason. The more time they get on the field, the more they work on their game, the better they'll be, and faster they'll play, the better defense will be.
Playing at the collegiate level than to a high school level, just helping them get around, know their assignments better, just get used to the game.
I think they're all just doing a great job, and the competition is bringing out the best of them, and they're all trying to get better, so I'm really excited.
The first game of fall season will be on September 3rd against Eastern Washington. For more information, visit gohuskies.com.
Name one thing that's cooler than football and the Huskies.
Well, we do have a fish library on campus.
You think that's cooler than football?
Maybe. It does have millions of specimens of underwater creatures.
I guess that's pretty cool. Do we have a clip?
Yeah, let's check it out.
Down in South Campus, the Fisheries Teaching and Research Facility holds a unique library. Instead of books, it catalogs fish. 7.9 million specimens are housed in the library for research purposes by the Burke Museum of Natural History and Culture.
Fish. The crawfish is under it, isn't it? There's the little lure. That is a good angler.
Catherine Maslenikov, the collections manager, oversees the operations of the library.
And it's basically just a library. It's a library of fish specimens that people can come and check out or use here to answer whatever research question they may have. So I'm responsible for all the ins and outs of what happens in the collection. So that's new material coming in that needs to be cataloged, identified, curated into the correct jars, get the labels produced. There's 7.9 million individual specimens here in 145,000 catalog numbers. So it's a lot of data, it's a lot of material, and it all needs to be readily accessible.
Helping Catherine out with this difficult task is a team of graduate and undergraduate students.
Well, I'm a volunteer at the UW Fish Collection, which is a branch of the Burke Natural History Museum. It's just not actually in the same building. and we just do general work for the fish collection. We work on a relabeling project as well as other small projects that need to get done.
I work with fish, drawing them, replacing labels, and doing whatever other task Catherine asks us to do pretty much. Today we were working with fish that just came out of the formalin, and we were jarring them and just recording data on them.
As grad students, we're required to put in about 4 hours for the greater good of the lab and then 4 hours of our greater good of our projects. So we have to go through and catalog, give each one an individual number so that when you look it up online, so we can go exactly to the shelf and tell you what number and where. My master's thesis is going to be on some larval identification and phylogeny of a family of fish called the ronquils.
There's a tight-knit community of fish lovers at UW, open to anyone who loves it underwater.
The people, they're really fun, and they'll be, both Rachel and Carrie are TAs for the Fish 311 class, so when I get to take that, I already know my TA and my teacher, so that'll be great.
I like getting to know everybody, and Rachel said we can like take her scuba diving gear out, and you get a lot of connections.
Not only are there people who just sports fish, they just want to be able to go out and get a fishing license and go hang their fishing pole off a dock, but there's aquarists, so there's people who are really interested in having their own aquarium and keeping fish alive. You know, salmon is a huge part of our culture in the Northwest, so we have quite a lot of salmon here. And then just people find fish fascinating, you know, particularly marine species, you know, the deep ocean is this amazingly understudied area. So there's definitely a large community that's interested in fish.
If you're interested in fish, you can go visit the catalog online, or you can head on down to the collection to take a tour and get involved with this group of fish lovers.
Well, that's all we have for you today.
Thanks for watching this week's episode.
I'm Stuart Marlantis.
And I'm Natalie Huynh.
Stay tuned on Friday nights at 7 p.m. for more of our shows.
See you next time
on the Daily's Double Shot.